EToH. You know the game, you've heard of it. And there's quite a sensitive topic going around. What is the worst difficulty in all of EToH? The worst difficulty in EToH? Let's see. Let's first go over every difficulty and rate the towers on average, then we'll go over the bottom three. The very first difficulty, easy difficulty. First, I'll start with the pros. Well, first of all, it's the first difficulty. Without it, the game wouldn't bring in new players, then EToH will die. Despite being super easy, this difficulty has a lot of good gimmicks in every tower, like in Zone 4, Ring 4, and Steel Spire Horizon. The thing is, while most towers have good gimmicks, some are incredibly boring, like Tower of 60 Feet Under. So I think I'll give this a solid 8 out of 10. Ooh, no, this will make y'all sad. Medium. EToH's most controversial difficulty. Well, for me, LOL. This difficulty feels like every builder has such a good idea for the tower, but it becomes so boring and lengthy because of the fact that this is the second easiest difficulty. There are only 5 good medium towers that I can name. Everything else is so boring. I just feel like easy difficulty does the ideas way better than medium can do. 4 out of 10. One of the better difficulties in my opinion. Hard difficulty. Now this difficulty has the first tower in the game and such creative towers throughout the game. For example, Tower of 10 Floor Challenge. Whenever creators are willing to make a good easy tower, hard is always their best option. Which is why it has absolute bangers everywhere. Barely any cons. I can't think of a singular hard tower that's less than a 4 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Ah yes, the most placeholder difficulty. Difficult, my favorite. Okay, to be fair, I think this is a pretty cool difficulty. I mean, it's got, like, Tower of Vietnam. The thing about this difficulty is that it doesn't have a lot of, rememberable towers. It feels so boring. Even the Citadel of this difficulty managed to be boring. But I'm not going to say that this is a bad one, so I'd rate this a solid 5 out of 10. Okay, this isn't really that good. Challenging difficulty. Now, let me ask you a question. What's your favorite challenging tower? Now, how rememberable is that tower? If it's Tower of Triangular Covering, anything in Zone 7 or Zone 6, or some other zone's IDK, then this proves my point. Every challenging tower is either dog water or is so forgettable. That's the problem. So my rating? 4 out of 10. By far the best difficulty. Intense difficulty. This difficulty has amazing towers throughout the game. Sure, there are a few downsides to it, but most of it is pretty good, even in the bad areas. So I'd rate this a 9 out of 10. This difficulty is pretty cool. Remorseless difficulty. Who doesn't love this difficulty? There's nothing wrong with it. Well, besides one problem. Peak Remorseless? Every Peak Remorseless tower just feels like it doesn't belong. But that's for another video. Without this difficulty, EToH would be nothing. 8 out of 10. We've reached the soul-crushing difficulties. And the first one, insane difficulty. By far the best soul-crushing difficulty because it has many themes, and personally I love grinding towers. Even Tower of Confusion is fun to me. One tower in this difficulty I don't like is Tower of Tee Time. Mostly because it's lengthy. Speaking of lengthy, most insane towers aren't that long, which is why I love them. 10 out of 10. Wow, we're reaching the end of the difficulties. Extreme difficulty. Now this is a really good section of towers. It's definitely the most welcoming soul-crushing difficulty. Like, you could definitely jump from Tower of Difficulty chart to Tower of Hopeless Hell easily. And the quality of most of the extreme towers is chef's kiss. The cons are that this difficulty goes from mid-extreme towers to high-peak extreme towers, which is a big jump. 7 out of 10. I have no words for this one. Terrifying. Oh boy, terrifying. To start off, you want to beat your very first terrifying tower. Here are your options. Tower of Impossible Movement, Z Fighting King, Tower of Frightening Nightmares, and Tower of Fractured Memories. Which is a good one. But if you don't like client objects, then what? Personally, the terrifying towers that are harder are way better, but still not that good. Tower of Wildly Wacky Wonders is the only good terrifying tower. 4 out of 10. The very last difficulty. Catastrophic. Now, I'm not a catastrophic player. My skill level is right below extreme. But I can say that the towers in this difficulty are pretty good, like Tower of Raging Tempest. This is because the catastrophic difficulty got introduced later in the game, but still. Pretty good. 6 out of 10. Bottom 3 time. These are the top 3 worst difficulties chosen by me in the community, but now let's see which is the worst. Okay, so remember how I was talking about medium being boring and not having that much style? Well, I never said anything about the difficulty having bad towers. They're all just bland and boring. So with that, medium is the 3rd worst difficulty. Now, it's up to challenging and terrifying. This is a really hard decision. But before we do so, let's ask the community. And those were my only friends online. Great! Well, let's see. Terrifying, despite having bad towers in the first half of the difficulty, isn't so bad at the harder side of the difficulty. I mean, Tower of Micromanagement, Tower of Wildly Wacky Wonders, Tower of Inceptio. Okay, maybe not that. And I guess you could say Tower of Nervous Sweating. And challenging, well, every good challenging tower is forgotten. And there's 5 good towers, out of like 40. The ratio of good to bad terrifying towers is better than challenging. So with that, challenging gets the worst difficulty award. Yay. Wait, that's not a good thing. Why are we celebrating?